Welcome to today's episode of the What We're Watching podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jeni, and today we're talking about Booksmart.
Yay! I have an unapologetic yay today.
Because...
this is my favorite movie.
Okay, I want to know everything about why it's your favorite movie.
Okay.
What started it?
I was watching it just with a huge smile on my face the whole time because I actually don't watch it very often. I was trying to think about why I love it so much. I don't even know if I have an answer. I just love the vibes. I love the colors. I love the music. There's very few movies that have music attached the way that this one did. I don't know if you noticed the music in this one, but it just really sets the scene and it makes the vibe of the whole movie so fun. And I always think about that when I'm writing a script. I'm trying to infuse what kind of music would be in the script because of this one. And I love the friendship between Molly and Amy. It's just so cute and so realistic and so fun to watch. And I think this was one of the first really deep female best friendships that I saw on screen. And so I just loved it.
Oh, I love that.
What did you think?
I'm trying to remember when I first saw this movie. I feel like I watched it because it was your favorite movie, but maybe I had already seen it. I don't really remember, but I've always liked this movie. It's really cute. Love the female friendships.
I'm tell me more. I'm so protective of it. Tell me you love it.
No, I do. I do really like it.
Spoiler alert, as always, obviously, we're going to be talking about Booksmart. So first, a little couple sentence synopsis. On the eve of their high school graduation, two academic superstars and best friends realize they should have worked less and played more. Determined not to fall short of their peers, the girls try to cram 4 years of fun into one night. Have you heard the comparisons between this movie and Superbad?
Yes, and I haven't seen Superbad, but I hear it a lot.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. I mean, Beanie Feldstein, Jonah Hill, siblings.
Mm-hmm. I've seen Superbad once because I love this movie and I always heard that and I always wanted to be no, it's its own thing. And then finally Brian made me watch it. And it's good. Everybody says this is the girl version of Superbad, and I can see where they're coming from because the concept of the plot is really similar, but the characters are totally different. And Superbad, to me, felt a little bit more crass, a little bit more of that boy goofy humor, you know? So the style was a little bit different, but the plot, I can see the similarities for sure.
Were they trying to get laid or something? Is that the plot?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I'm sure that aged well.
Super. And this was Olivia Wilde's directorial debut.
Oh.
So this was the only thing she had directed before Don't Worry, Darling, that came out earlier this year, which the reception of her as a director of each of those movies was polar opposite each time. I remember when Booksmart came out, all the girls in the movie especially loved her and were posting about her being their Hollywood mom and all the mentorship she gave Beanie and Kaitlyn and all the girls on set and how adored she was, to Don't Worry Darling with all the drama around her and Harry, her and Florence's beef, her and Shia LaBeouf's beef, her trying to promote the hell out of the movie, her divorce, night and day, which is so nuts.
What do you think happened? Her life just changed?
I think so. I think it was just a chaotic period. From the outside, when she directed Booksmart, she had 2 kids, she was married, she was well-liked, this was her first shot. I don't think it even did super well in theaters, but I think it was really well-loved by the people that did see it. And I think, from what it sounds like, she put a lot of effort into the environment for all of the cast. She had a really young cast, she had a lot of new actors, and she put a lot of effort into making sure that they were friends and that they got along and that they liked her and everybody had a good relationship and felt safe and supported. Whereas with this one, it sounds like she pulled some bigger names, some bigger actors. She was going through her divorce. She started dating one of the stars. And I think that just gets really messy when you have especially somebody like Shia LaBeouf, who's problematic, and then you start dating somebody and you have a big female star, and I love Florence Pugh, so I can't imagine her being really part of the drama, but I just think it's a recipe for a little bit more drama.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Makes sense. This script was written by 4 different people at different periods of time.
Wow.
In 2009, it made the Blacklist, which, for those of you who don't know, the Blacklist is an annual list of unproduced scripts that they survey producers and managers to see what their favorite unproduced script is of the year. And anyway, in 2009, this made the Blacklist. It was a completely different script It was written by Emily Halpern and Sarah Haskins, and it was about the girls seeking boyfriends for prom. So,
very different.
More Superbad, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2014, Susanna Fogel rewrote it so that Amy was a lesbian, and they were going to an after-prom party, and still nothing happened with that script. And then in 2018, Katie Silberman was hired to revise it and update the story, and she came up with like a completely new angle. She was asking herself, what if the two friends realized that they did high school all wrong? Like, what if they realized that everyone they thought just partied and wasted their high school were going to Ivy League schools just like them? And that's what like spurred the whole concept and the rewrite and what the movie is today.
Yeah, I love the concept a lot better like that. I like that it's about like the girls being ambitious, and it's really funny to see them realize that they could have had a lot more fun in high school. It just feels more about them instead of them trying to find boyfriends.
I think that's why it just came across as such like a friendship movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
Me too. I didn't realize this was a blacklist script, though. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really big because I feel like a ton of movies are on the blacklist first before they get produced. Like Juno was also on the blacklist, I believe.
Yep.
Probably a ton of others. I feel like Don't Worry Darling was too, now that I think about it. I could be wrong.
The blacklist is something I didn't know anything about until we started taking screenwriting classes, and it became like this highly regarded thing. And like our teachers every year will send us the list of scripts on the blacklist, and people will read them and talk about them. And it's a very big marker of like who in the screenwriting world is up and coming. This could be totally wrong. Are the people that write scripts for the blacklist unrepresented, or does it not matter?
I don't think it matters if they're represented or not. I think it's about whether the script has been pushed into production or not.
Okay. Yeah, so very prestigious.
Oh, one interesting fact that I found out about this movie is that it was filmed in only 26 days.
That feels fast.
I know, and because it was a tight timeline, Olivia Wilde had a no script on set rule. It's actually something she stole from Martin Scorsese, who does that. So they had to really like know their lines when they came up to film. And also a lot of the shots were done at like 3 a.m. So the cast says that they were delirious while they were filming.
Interesting. Huh. Speaking of the cast, should we talk about all our favorites?
Yeah.
Yay. This is the first time I saw a lot of these people, but I have seen a lot of them since then. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of like intertwined friend groups in this movie, which I love, like in real life. Starting with Beanie Feldstein, who plays Molly. We love her. She's Jonah Hill's little sister. And she just got married.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Who did she get married to? Bonnie.
Bonnie something.
Yeah.
She's, I think, she's either producer or director. And they met working on a project, because I think I listened to an interview with her a while ago at the time that I don't know if she thought she was straight before or if she hadn't dated women or something. It was something like that. And then she met Bonnie and they worked on a project together and they got together, and it was just, I think I remember her in the interview being like, oh, yeah, I get it. I get it now. Like, this is definitely like who I was supposed to be with or who I was supposed to be dating or something like that. And their wedding pictures are really cute.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Although I heard Jonah Hill didn't go to her wedding.
Really?
But he just had a baby.
He did?
Yeah.
He what? I'm sorry. No. Did he really?
Yes.
How did I miss this among the Jonah Hill text drama that just happened? And I watched his documentary of his therapist, which I fucking love, by the way. I was so disappointed when the text came out after that because I wanted to be Team Jonah.
I've been Team Jonah, and then when I need to just stop saying that I love celebrity men. Like, I just need to stop because they will disappoint me every time.
We hate them all, actually.
So anyone that I say I love in this episode, like when they get canceled later on, just disregard.
Yeah, don't come.
I didn't mean it.
Just know that I take it back. She's also best friends in real life with Molly Gordon, who plays AAA, aka Annabelle.
Oh.
They're also best friends with Ben Platt.
Oh, okay.
Who I think just got married. He definitely got engaged. They might have gotten married to Noah Galvin.
Who is that?
Who is George in the movie The Theater Boy.
Oh my gosh, Small World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is all kind of interconnected. And I don't know if Ben met Noah because of this movie, but I think they started dating around the time that this happened. So it could be through like those mutual friends.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
we already said this, but like I love the Molly-Amy friendship dynamic in this movie. And when the movie came out, they spoke about how Olivia asked them if they would be willing to live together during filming to like help get the vibe of them being best friends and spending every day together. And they had such a good time doing it. And that's like what helped them build their on-screen friendship because they were like running lines and hanging out every day and like staying together.
Their chemistry in the movie is so good that I think this was just like a genius call on Olivia Wilde's part. It obviously made a difference.
Totally. I'm also getting this like flashback that just looks so weird now, but I think it was a Variety Actors on Actors conversation. Have you seen those videos?
Yeah.
They're on YouTube. If anybody's interested, they're really good. They pair two actors together to ask each other questions. And Beanie and Florence did one.
Oh.
I think a little bit after Booksmart came out. It was right after Florence, I think, did Little Women. And half the conversation was Beanie talking about how great this experience with Olivia was. And Florence being like, I would love to work with her. I've always wanted to work with her. I heard such great things. And so when I saw that she was in Don't Worry, Darling at first, I was like, oh my gosh, yay, yay, the girls are together. This is so exciting.
Florence got what she wanted.
Mm-hmm. Cut to the like leaked voicemail from Olivia and all the drama that happened between the two of them.
Wow.
Yikes. I would love to know what Beanie and Kaitlyn thought of that situation. Do you watch The Bear?
I've seen like one episode.
Okay, I won't spoil this then. But Molly Gordon is in the second season. She's the one that plays AAA. As an adult, so it was like weird for me to see her be this adult. She's like somebody's love interest in the second season. And yeah, it was just funny to see because I had seen her as AAA, this like 16, 17, 18-year-old. And then it feels like it's only been a few years to then see her in The Bear as this like, she plays a doctor. And I was just like, huh, she's so grown up.
I don't know about you, but when I hear that this movie was made in 2018, that feels like a lifetime ago. Pre-COVID, like so much has happened since then that I'm just like, oh yes, she's grown.
She is a doctor.
We are all grown. Molly Gordon is also in this movie called Shiva Baby. It's really good. Recommend it.
I think she's also in Theater Camp, which is that movie that just came out with the actress that plays Sydney in The Bear.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, yeah. We also can't skip over Kaitlyn Dever, who plays Amy. She has such a good performance in this movie. I go back and forth on whether I like her or Molly, Beanie's character, better. But Kaitlyn is super talented. She's been in a bunch of stuff, but I think most notably she was in Unbelievable, which I think she was nominated or maybe won an Emmy for. And then she also was in Dope Sick, which I haven't seen. I've heard it's dark, so I don't have the stomach for it.
And then we have Diana Silvers, who plays Hope. I freaked out when I saw that she was in this movie. A long time ago, I followed this girl who was like a model and best friends with Dylan and Cole Sprouse. She was also in the same friend group as Diana Silvers. So Diana Silvers was very close to Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Oh, interesting.
And then there was like a breakup that Dylan went through, and I'm sure Diana like chose the girl's side.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Has she been in anything else?
She's in Space Force. If you saw that, it's a Steve Carell comedy that's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Carell and Phoebe from Friends.
Lisa Kudrow.
They're, I think, married in Space Force, and Diana Silvers is their daughter.
Oh, and Lisa Kudrow is also in this one, so.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. We also have Billie Lourd. Love. She's in American Horror Story. She's the daughter of Carrie Fisher and granddaughter of Debbie Reynolds.
Wait, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so Princess Leia is her mom.
What?
And then Debbie Reynolds, who I know from Halloween Town.
Yes.
is her grandma. I think they passed away very close together, and Billie Lourd, like posts about it pretty regularly on her, like about her grief journey on her social media. And she has a baby now. She's like married with a kid.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
She was great in this movie.
Also, true or not true, I don't know, but Wikipedia says that her godmother is Meryl Streep.
What a lucky woman.
I know. Lots of famous ladies.
Oh, look at us with the Nepo babies.
I know. Yeah, we love them. Can't stay away. Okay, a few more favorites in the cast. Jason Sudeikis. We love him from Ted Lasso. He was obviously married to Olivia at the time. which at the time made me love this even more because you know that I love when spouses and best friends work together in Hollywood projects, but wah.
Yeah, pretty much. We cannot forget to talk about Jessica Williams, who plays Miss Fine, the teacher. She was so funny in this role.
Yep.
I love her. We both loved her in Shrinking, the TV show. If you haven't seen it, go watch it immediately.
Go subscribe to Apple Plus for 1 month. It's worth it.
Use up that free trial if they do that.
Totally.
How I know Jessica Williams is from The Daily Show.
Mm.
And I don't know if you know this about me, but like my whole family knows this. My first crush was Jon Stewart.
Wow.
And she was a senior correspondent on his show. And I think she continued into Trevor Noah's era too, but that's how I know her.
I actually didn't know that's where she came from.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I don't know if that was her first thing, but I feel like that's how I knew about her.
Yeah. We also have Skylar Gisondo. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name. He plays Jared. He is also in Righteous Gemstones, which is such a funny show.
He's so good in that show too.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's good friends with Phineas and Claudia Sulewski, which Phineas is Billie Eilish's big brother / producer / Grammy Award winner producer of the year, who's younger than us.
Wow.
His longtime girlfriend, and the reason I know about him even, is Claudia Sulewski, famous YouTuber. She was friends with some of the YouTubers that went to my high school, and so I just have been watching her YouTube channel forever. It's always fun for me when I like see them all in photos together.
Wow, I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
Cool. Skylar has been popping off on the internet lately because he had a viral photo.
You don't hear those words a lot, viral photo. What is it? I'm scared.
I'm going to show it to you.
Oh no.
It's a photo of him and his dog. So cute.
It's so cute. Wow, I thought it was going to be like salacious or something silly because it's viral. No, it's just an adorable photo of him holding his dog like a baby.
And it went viral because it makes him look like the Dust Bowl woman. You know that iconic photo from the Great Depression?
No.
All right, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
You know this photo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What went viral is this tweet that's like, he looks like the Dust Bowl woman, burdened yet beautiful. And he's just cradling his dog.
Looking into the distance. It's a stunning photo.
I love him, and I just think that's so funny.
Yeah.
Lisa Kudrow and Will Forte play Amy's parents in the movie. They did great. And then Eduardo Franco plays Theo. Did you recognize him?
Yes. I mean, I knew him from this first.
Yeah.
So then I recognized him in things later because of Booksmart.
Uh-huh.
But he's in Stranger Things.
Yes, he's Argyle, a beloved character.
He's also in, God, what is the stupid penis movie on Netflix?
Sausage Party?
No.
Oh.
It's the one where his penis gets cut off. I'm like so embarrassed that I even know that. My, at the time, boyfriend, now husband, he lived with a bunch of boys and we watched this during the pandemic. The Package. It's called The Package.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. If you're looking for like it actually is pretty funny. I was super skeptical and did not want to watch it. It's about a like group of high schoolers that goes camping and then they have this accident and then they're trying to get out of the woods, but somebody has cut their penis off. And so they have this important package. You know, if you've seen him act, you can imagine how he would fit in as the lead of that movie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. We're going to get into the movie recap now. And I love the way this movie starts. It starts with a voiceover of Molly, aka Beanie Feldstein's character, her like motivational speaker in the morning. She has her alarm, I think, set to be this woman who she sounds like Sigourney Weaver, but I don't think that's who it is.
It's Maya Rudolph.
Wow, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That makes it way better.
Yeah.
So she has this motivational voice come over, just kind of like God, basically, in the intro of this movie, just like telling her that she's a badass and she should take no prisoners. And it's so funny.
That's when I like really got the tone for this movie because it started off, I was like, okay, she's like a very studious girl and she's listening to this motivational thing to wake up. That's really funny. I related to that when it just turned and it was just like, what did it say? Like,
it's basically like a morning meditation. And it says, Maya Rudolph says, look down on anyone who has ever doubted you. Fuck those losers. Fuck them in their stupid fucking faces. So it starts very like aspirational, and then that's the end of the meditation where she's getting ready. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's when I knew I was going to like this movie.
Mm-hmm. Amy shows up to drive Molly to school, and this intro of their friendship, and the music just like does something to my brain. You know, when people say like a song just like tickles their brain.
Mhm.
That's how I feel about this scene where Amy pulls up to this like hot pink apartment building. Molly walks out, and then this song starts playing, and they're both like dancing, and they're like, "Ooh, you look so cute. Oh my gosh." And they're just like the way they're interacting, and then the music cuts off, and then they're just dancing in silence outside this house. It's just perfect to me.
They're so nerdy, but they think they're so cool, and I
Mhm.
love that.
They're each other's hype person. Like, they don't need anybody else to think they're cool because the other person thinks they're cool, you know?
Yeah, and you see that throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We love a good hype friend.
Okay, so they get to school, and whose office did they walk into?
They walk into Principal Brown's office. He does not like them. He's like, it is the last day of school. Like, calm down. One thing we find out is that Molly is the student council president, or student body president, I guess. And they have this rule that they can't tell each other what college they're going to because they don't want to make anyone feel bad.
Interesting. Yeah, what did you think about that?
It just made me laugh because I was like, Molly probably put this rule into place because she was like, I'm smart and I'm going to Yale, and I don't think that everyone else should feel bad that I'm going to Yale.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And then we find out her vice president is this guy named Nick.
And we find out how much they love Miss Fine.
Miss Fine.
What a perfect name. Miss Fine gives them her phone number because she's like, "Oh, girls, I'm going to miss you so much," and then gives them her number so they can text about the crossword or something.
And Hope, the mean girl, is like, cool, you got your teacher's phone number?
Yeah. Okay, so then we cut to lunch. During lunch, we find out that Amy is a lesbian, or at least that she likes girls. And she specifically likes this girl named Ryan. Ryan is played by Victoria Ruesca. She is actually a famous skateboarder.
Oh.
And I think became an actor in this movie. I don't know if she's done any other projects. So I don't know how they found her or if she has done other acting things. But the point of her character, I think, was to be like a bisexual person in the cast. I read an interview with, I think it was the screenwriter, saying that they wanted her to be bisexual, and that comes in later in the movie.
Oh, I didn't know she was bisexual.
Mm-hmm. So Molly is being an encouraging friend and is telling Amy that she needs to go talk to Ryan, go say hi to her during lunch.
Amy is just so infatuated.
Yeah. And I like that we get the kind of slow-mo with music playing love interest shots where we see Ryan slow-mo on her skateboard and up close of her face laughing with the music in the background. It was just cool to see that between two girls because we don't usually see that in movies.
Maybe more so now, but definitely not in 2018.
No.
Amy goes and talks to Ryan, but totally fumbles and is just awkward.
Yeah, it's so cute. And then Molly, after lunch, goes into the bathroom. We also find out the school has unisex bathrooms. So you get the vibe that this school is tries to be very progressive with the whole don't tell anyone where you're going to college, don't make anyone feel bad, unisex bathrooms, that type of thing.
Yeah, did you catch that Amy is the one who put the gender-neutral bathrooms in place?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. So Molly overhears some of the people from her class talking shit about her in the bathroom. This just pushes her over the edge. And she tells them that she's going to Yale as a way to kind of brag, to kind of show them she doesn't care that they're talking crap about her because she got into this great school and it was worth it.
So AAA also got into Yale, she finds out. And then this other kid, Tanner, got into Stanford. And then Theo is not going to college. And at first, Molly is kind of like, oh, good. I was right about someone. But it's because he got a job at Google. And this just is the start of everything. Molly doesn't know what she believes in anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She just has a
crisis
meltdown.
You just hear her walk down the hall and go up to everyone and be like, "Where are you going to college?" And they're like, "I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that." She's like, "Tell me," to everyone. And so many people got into great schools, which to me, this was the least realistic part of the whole movie. Because I don't know if anybody from my school went to Ivies. I'm sure we had a couple, but it was not every person in school. How about you?
Was this a rich kid school? Did you catch that?
I think it must be.
I don't know.
So basically, the crisis is because Molly realizes that her and Amy spent all of high school studying to get into these great schools. And then these other kids that they thought were partying nobodies also got into the great schools that they got into. And that's not acceptable.
There's this really funny part when Molly is having her meltdown where Amy brings out the auto harp, which I didn't even know what that was. And she starts playing it and she sings this song. It's something like, If you don't say something in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna take you to the hospital. Apparently, Olivia was always trying to incorporate people's musical talents, and she was very collaborative with the actors. And so they were thinking about what Amy would play, and they thought maybe she'd play the guitar here or the ukulele. And Kaitlyn Dever actually suggested the auto harp.
Huh.
I think she already played it. And then Katie Silberman, the writer, just apparently whipped up the song in 5 minutes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not like a complicated song, but still.
It feels very fitting to the moment of what Amy would actually do.
Yeah, and it was so cute and funny.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much immediately, Molly is like, we were wrong here. We were wrong about everything. We could have been partying the whole time. We didn't have to choose to only be nerds. We could have cared about school and partied. And so we have one night left to make up for it before graduation. And Amy is very reluctant, but goes along with it. And so they have to get out of their plans that night with Amy's parents.
I so relate to Amy and Molly because I never went to parties and I just studied my butt off. And I didn't even get into a good school for it.
Yeah, I think my most embarrassing moments in life are the high school parties I went to, which is fitting. Okay, so we meet Amy's parents, Lisa Kudrow and Will Forte. I love them in this movie. What did you think of them?
They're so funny, and they are very, very religious.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so accepting of their daughter because she's been out of the closet for like 2 years or something like that.
Yep.
Very supportive of her. They think that she and Molly are a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so cute.
Which is so adorable because Molly plays into it so that they can get out of it. And she's like, we just want one more special night together because, you know, you'll never forget your first. And Amy's like, first friend, just friends. Anyway, so obviously then Amy's parents say, sure, girls, what you have is very special. Do whatever you want tonight. Have a great night. So then they're off to their first stop.
Yeah, they call Jared, who we met Jared earlier, and he is so sweet to Molly. Like, you can tell there's a little crush there, but he's this rich kid. He's not very cool, but just has a lot of money, and his only friend is Gigi, another rich kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, oh, will you take us to the party? And he's like, yeah. He shows up, he picks them up. He's like, I'm taking you to the best party tonight. They get to his boat party and no one is there.
It's so sad.
Just Gigi. They've got iPads in the goodie bags.
It's the worst because, like, the lights are off. There's, like, wait staff everywhere. There's, like, lights going in a DJ and then just a completely empty dance floor. Just completely empty. And Jared walks in and is just, like, dancing and acting like it's such a good party. And it's just so sad, but also funny.
I love Jared, though. I feel so bad for him because he's just so not cool, even though he has all of this money. And then Gigi pops strawberries into their mouths.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important later.
Yep. So finally, after they're just kind of over being at this party, Alan, who's one of the theater kids at school, texts Molly what she thinks is the address for Nick's party, which is ultimately where they're trying to go. However, they call a Lyft and it ends up taking them somewhere else. So they're on to stop 2 of the night. But we have to talk about the Lyft ride.
Who is their Lyft driver?
It's Principal Brown, a.k.a. Jordan, a.k.a. Jason Sudeikis, which is so funny.
And he's like an aggressive driver.
Yeah, it's a hilarious and super, super awkward car ride. And they think that they're on their way to Nick's party, which the reason they're going to Nick's party, other than just to prove they can party like everybody else, is to see Ryan, Amy's crush. And Amy gets so nervous in the car because she's never hooked up with the girl before. And so Molly's like, well, there's a way we could learn really quick. And so they start watching porn on her phone. And Principal Brown is like, oh, you girls listening to music? Let me just put it on the speaker. And then switches it so that it goes through the speaker of the car.
So embarrassing.
Horrific.
Doesn't he say something like, oh, was that Cardi B?
Yeah.
So they end up at George's murder mystery party instead of Nick's party. And they're so mad. And they run into Gigi, which is crazy because she just like dove off of the boat and was all wet. And now all of a sudden she's beat them to this murder mystery party and she's dry and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And Gigi tells them that she's surprised that they're still with it because the strawberries that she gave them were dipped in what she calls Asian ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm. The girls are scared of drugs. And so they're just like, no, 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 no. Followed by a trip where they think they're dolls.
This scene I don't like.
Mm.
I just think it's out of place. It just feels like somebody had an idea that they really held tightly onto and wanted to keep it.
I completely agree. It's my least favorite scene in the movie.
Apparently, when Olivia Wilde took this project on, she envisioned a drug trip where the girls turned into Barbie dolls and gave Katie Silberman, the writer, the responsibility of where to incorporate that into the story. And that scene took 5 months to film with a team of 30 people.
What? Why? Because it was like kind of a,
It's
it
like
was almost like claymation or something.
Yeah, like stop motion. And I'm like, okay, the movie took 1 month to film. This stupid scene took 5 months to film.
Wow. And the thing that takes me out of it is that the dolls are so gross looking. Sorry, like they just don't really look like the girls, and the voices don't really sound like the girls. I know it, I'm sure it is the actors, but like what they're saying is funny, but the whole visual part of it, I'm just like, why? Couldn't you have made this like a cute animation of Barbies or something?
Yeah, or even if it's claymation, do something different with the style of it. It was kind of creepy.
It was creepy and weird, and it did not feel like it belonged in like the funness. And like I said, the movie is really aesthetic. I noticed that watching it yesterday because we've been watching so many movies lately. The colors in the movie, it just, everything feels really intentional and nostalgic and like warm. And this scene felt weird, just like super out of place.
Do you know what it's giving? When you're at work and your boss is like, okay, I have this really great idea and we have to do it. It's going to be awesome. I don't care how much money we spend on it. This is what we're doing. And you're like, oh, this is such a bad idea.
But no one says anything.
You just have to go along with it because they're the boss. Olivia Wilde.
For sure, this is that. Okay, so at the end of the trip, they're just like, we have to leave. We have to get out of this house. They're walking out of the house. And they tell George that they're leaving his party to go to Nick's party. And George makes a comment about them leaving because Molly likes Nick, which is a big twist for the girls. Molly comes clean and is finally just like, oh, yes. Which you can tell it just kills her to admit that she likes the jock, like the jock party guy. Because it's so anti her and Amy's personality or like their values. It just feels like so against that. But Amy's actually very supportive. This ends up being what like changes Amy's mind about the night, because the whole time Amy has been kind of resistant and said like, I really don't want to go. Can we just go home? We don't need to prove anything. And then once she realizes it's because Molly likes Nick, she's like, oh, well, if you like him, he better like you because you're the best person on the planet and you deserve that. And if he's what you want, you should get him. So let's go to the party. And it's really funny and cute.
And doesn't she like not want to go to the party, but then Molly uses her Malala line.
Yep.
And we find out you can only say that once a year, and it means that the other person has to do the thing that you want to do because it's that important to you.
Unconditional support. The problem is they still don't know where the party is. So what do?
They do what they do best, which is homework. So they're like stalking everybody on social media, trying to find out where this party is. They find out that they ordered a ton of pizzas. So they go to the pizza place to try and find the address.
I love this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. They get into the backseat of a pizza driver's car, and they have like put a ponytail of their hair over their face to look like a mask. And they use these like deep voices to try to intimidate the pizza driver into telling them where he delivered all those pizzas earlier. And he's just concerned about their own safety. Which is so funny.
They get the address, but Amy finds out that she left her phone in the pizza driver's car.
And so they only have Molly's phone, and it's about to die. So what does she do but call Miss Fine to come take them to the party? And she does. I
cannot imagine being a teacher bothered by my students at night on like the last day of school and driving them to a party. It's kind of weird.
Although, to be fair, I don't think they said in the voicemail that they needed to go to a party. They just said they were stranded on the corner of this street and this street and they needed help and they needed someone to pick them up. So I think if you got that voicemail and they were your favorite students, maybe you would.
But I'd be really mad when I showed up and found out they wanted to go to a party.
Oh, I would take them home to their parents. Yeah. Probably.
Oh, she probably should if she doesn't want to be fired. But this is a movie, so.
Yeah, Miss Fine is cool.
They get to wear her clothes, too, because they're wearing these, like, weird jumpsuits that are matching. And she's like, are you guys going to wear that? And then they get to go through her clothes, and they're so excited.
And they finally get to the party. It's about time. And Miss Fine also comes to the party. Which, what did you think about the Miss Fine and Theo storyline?
Stop.
You hated it.
We don't need it.
Yeah.
Theo, for those who maybe didn't see the movie or don't remember, he's 20.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to make that like okay. But Miss Fine and him are like flirting. And why did she even walk into a high school party in the first place?
Yeah, it's weird.
If that happened in real life, people would be like, what is a teacher doing here?
Yeah, people would freak out and get worried they were going to get in trouble.
It was very odd.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you thinking?
It like was funny in the context of the movie, but we didn't need it. I didn't love it.
No, and I get that he's 20, but there's weird power dynamics and you're the teacher and I don't like it.
I think maybe there's very few things they could have done to like make it feel okay. I think maybe if they had him like fail senior year a few times and have her be like a new young teacher that maybe like went to school at the same time as him or something because he had failed so many times or something.
Like knew him before.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I think they could have found a way to make it feel a little bit more normal, but Miss Fine, as far as we know, is like
30.
30s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's just weird.
Yeah, if we say this all the time, but if the roles were reversed and this was a male teacher and a female student, we would
hate it. Would actually really hate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the girls are thriving at first. Everyone is like, oh my gosh, we got the girls to come to the party.
Wait, I love that they are so accepting of them showing up.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like, ew, what are the losers doing at our party? They're like, hey, we've been waiting for this day. We've been waiting for you to show up to one of our parties. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's really nice. So Amy finds Ryan. She does karaoke with all the kids, which we love. Molly plays Pong with Nick. Everybody is doing great until they're not.
Yeah, Amy goes swimming with Ryan. She's so excited. She's swimming in the pool trying to find Ryan and finds that she's kissing Nick. Sad.
Heartbroken, yeah.
Amy's devastated and she wants to leave. She can't handle this. She goes up to Molly and tries to get her to leave, but Molly doesn't know that Nick was kissing Ryan. And so she's like, no, like I'm going to stay right here. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, it's going really well from her perspective.
And Amy doesn't want to tell her. And so Amy's just like, Malala. And Molly does not accept. They get into this huge argument. And
in front of everybody.
Oh, yeah. It's a great scene. Oh my gosh, like very emotional. They did a great job. I found out that it was all taken in one shot.
Really? The fight?
There are a ton of people in the background. I mean, and then they have to have their lines perfect. They got it in 2 takes.
Wow.
Nuts.
That makes me also think that the first take was probably perfect and they took the second one just for coverage.
Maybe.
Wow, that's impressive. Also, they do something that I love, that I realized this week that I love, is when we see an argument and they play music over the argument and you just get to see their 2 faces. I rewatched the All Too Well 10-minute film. And they do this and that. If you know the scene, you know, like where Sadie Sink is yelling in the pantry and she's like standing over him kind of, and they're just playing the song and you can just see the emotion on both of their faces. And I am normally a big proponent of let me hear the fight. Like, let me hear the awkward conversation. Let me hear the confrontation. We talk about that a lot in our writing classes. I love getting to see the important, difficult scenes and hear the words. But for some reason, when somebody's having a fight and we as the audience already know what it's about, just getting to see the emotion with music, I love it.
You almost understand the emotions more because you're not paying attention to what they're saying. You're only focused on their faces. It was a great acting job.
Agreed.
Also, I love that you brought up Taylor Swift.
We had to do it. So the big thing that comes out of the fight is that Amy admits that she's actually taking a gap year next year, which is something she's been keeping from Molly. Molly thinks that she's just going to help make tampons in Africa. She's moving to Botswana. Molly thinks that she's moving there just for the summer, but she's actually going for the whole year. And she didn't want to tell Molly because she thought Molly would be mad because it would mess up their plan of graduating college at the same time.
I actually love that she didn't tell her also because she thought that Molly would convince her otherwise. Because Molly is very much like the boss of this friendship. She's very convincing. She'd be like, no, why would you want to do that? That ruins our plan. Yeah,
I felt like it was Amy protecting her own decision.
Yeah.
So Amy's very upset and she goes to the bathroom. And this is another one of my favorite scenes. What did you think of the bathroom scene?
It didn't feel realistic to me.
Oh.
Only the start of it. Here's what happens. Hope and Amy hook up. But Hope is being so mean. She's tearing Amy down and then all of a sudden they start making out. And maybe that's realistic. I don't know. But I was just like, I wanted her to be a little nicer, or for us to like get a hint that she, I don't know, was interested in Amy, or that this was mean flirting instead of just being mean.
Yep, I actually totally agree. That was something I hadn't really thought of until watching it this time. That confused me because I was like, we have seen no slice of humanity from Hope. We've only seen her be such a bitch to these two girls. And then for this to become them hooking up was confusing to me. And I think you're right. I think if we had seen it as like mean flirting or had like one clue, one line earlier, then it would have made a lot more sense, especially if Hope is not out of the closet. Then I think we could have like put the pieces together a little bit better. But this was weird.
But it ends up being okay. I mean, I think this scene was really important. I think it was important for a lot of people. And it was kind of sweet because then as soon as they start making out, then Hope's wall comes down and she's normal and she's nice.
Yep, I agree.
Then Amy is just like so nervous because she accidentally fingered her butthole. And so she grabs this like drink and it's just cigarette butts in there, I think.
I think it's dip.
Oh, it's dip. Ew, 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 ew.
Yeah.
And so she throws up all over Hope. And Hope is just so mean after that. She's like, just get out. And she takes a shower. And I felt so bad for Amy.
I know. But I think that's why this scene is so good, because there's so many different emotions in it. And I also wonder, like, being somebody that is not queer, if this is a more common experience, like the whole, you know, when they tell you as a girl when you're little that a boy being mean to you means they like you, that's actually bullshit. But I wonder if there is a little bit of truth to somebody who maybe is closeted being particularly rude to somebody that is out of the closet. And it is because there is an attraction or a jealousy or like just like a projection there. I have no idea. Not like I'm not part of the queer community, but I would be curious if that's maybe an experience that they wanted to put on screen for that reason. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But their hookup was cute and I'm happy it was there. And this was a scene that was really important to Olivia, like other than for obvious reasons, because she, as an actor, has done a lot of sex scenes and said that they always feel really uncomfortable because there's always like a lot of lights and there's like 40 people standing around. It's usually all men. People are making comments. It just doesn't feel intimate. And so for this, they did a closed set and it was the fewest people that were needed. So I think it was literally her, a couple camera people, and the two actors, and that was it. So that it could be very like intimate and honest and nobody had to worry about other people making jokes or comments or looking at them, which I thought was really cool.
That's nice, because it has to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Okay, so post-throw up, Amy runs out. The whole night has been a disaster. And to make it even worse, the cops show up.
And Amy just has nothing left to lose at this point. And so she decides to create a diversion for the cops. She ends up getting arrested.
Yeah, which is kind of a callback to a line at the very beginning of the movie when they say, you know, one idiot always gets arrested the night before graduation.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I caught it watching this time and I was like, oh, it's Amy. Because then the next day, Molly goes to get her out of jail. And Molly says that. Molly's like, you're the idiot that got arrested the night before graduation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Backing up, after Amy gets arrested, Molly doesn't know this is happening because she ran away with a lot of the kids that were outside as soon as the cops came up. And AAA comes to get her.
This entire time, we don't know what AAA's real name is. We've heard that she's called AAA because she gave roadside assistance to a bunch of boys.
Wink, wink.
In the car, AAA is like, you know, this is why they call me AAA, right? But then we find out that actually, like, she did give them blowjobs, but then she says that what really bothered her is that the girls call her AAA too. And Molly's like, Amy never did. And then we find out that next year at Yale, AAA wants to be called by her real name, which is
Annabelle. Yeah, this was a sweet moment and also very, like, humanizing and just relatable. Like, Annabelle is just like, so what? I wanted to hook up with them in my car, not in my house where my parents live. And, like, I can't believe all the girls made fun of me for all of high school for doing that when, well, what are you guys doing? You know? I think that's just, like, it's just a really good point that teenagers, girls and boys, can just be really mean and not think about other people's perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so Molly wakes up, sees a bunch of texts, bunch of things on social media about Amy getting arrested, and goes to get her from jail.
And when she's going to get her to talk to her, she sees this flyer for the Valley Strangler. And who is in the police drawing but none other than the pizza delivery guy that they willingly got in his car.
It just makes it so good because when they got in his car, he's like, you don't know me. I could want to kill you. Look, I have this gun in my car, but it's for my protection from bad people. Why aren't you guys worried about being around bad people? When he was the strangler.
Yeah, and he was like, I could have you like across state lines by this. I don't even know what he said, but it was like he had this whole plan of like what he could do to them and like why were they so stupid to not be more careful. And it's like, oh, he's done that before. So Molly gets Amy out of jail because she gives the police info on the Valley Strangler.
Meanwhile, graduation is starting. Molly has tapped Jared to filibuster her graduation speech while she's getting Amy out of jail.
Sweet Jared.
Yeah. And then they pull up in Jared's car. Amy is a hero. Everybody claps. Molly walks on stage and makes out with Jared, which is so funny. I also love George, Noah Galvin's character during all of graduation. Just like all his comments are just hilarious.
After graduation, Hope comes over to Amy's house to give her her number. So
this was cute.
Yeah, I'm glad that something was resolved after that terrible experience. It ended horribly.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but I think it's because Amy took the fall and like went to jail and Hope felt bad and realized she was probably being harsh and reactive in the moment.
And she's still really harsh in this moment too. She's just so mean.
Yeah, she calls her a nerd, but I guess because she's so hot, Amy is just like, yes, I got her number, you know? And actually, it's so funny because the whole time, Molly is looking through a window that's right next to Hope's face. And so Amy is talking to Hope, and right next to Hope's face is Molly in the window figuring out what happened the night before and just being like, oh my God. So you just see Molly like mouthing things the whole time. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And then we have the goodbye. Molly drives Amy to the airport to say goodbye, to drop her off to go to Africa. And the girls do this thing, which I don't know about you, is so relatable to me because I hate saying bye to people or like I hate dramatic conversations. And so they're both just like, bye, bye, bye. And they're not really saying anything. They're just being like awkward. I guess it's time to go. Bye. And then Amy gets her suitcase out and starts walking towards the airport. And both of them just have like tears streaming down their face. And you can tell they're like really sad that this moment, like everything's about to change because Amy's moving away for a year. Molly's going to college and just like it's never going to be like this again. And then Amy turns around and is like, never mind, let's go get pancakes. I can be the last one on the plane.
And that's how it ends. So cute. But you know what I don't understand about this scene? Amy is leaving for an entire year. Why didn't her parents take her to the airport?
I thought that was weird too.
I'm sure that Molly talked her parents into it because she's very persuasive, but it makes me sad.
Yeah. It makes me sad for her parents and for Amy.
But what did you think about the ending?
I loved it. I thought it was sweet. I just think like seeing the two different reactions of like them pretending like everything's fine and they're just saying casual byes to like, never mind, I can be the last one on the plane was just cute and it just made me feel good.
It's so funny that this whole movie took place over the course of like 24 hours.
Yeah, it's not in real time, but it's one of those, where the whole movie is in one day, which is always crazy to watch. Yay!
Yeah, I'm so glad we watched your favorite movie.
Me too. I'm happy we were able to kick the podcast off with a bunch of our favorite back-to-school, nostalgic high school movies. It's been really fun.
Yeah, agree. And we had to tackle some female friendship movies because we love those.
Of course. And we're not done. We have a couple more left before we get into our fall Halloween movies, but we'll get there, don't worry.
Thanks for listening. If you liked it, please leave us 5 stars. We would really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.